So we are going to go ahead and get started. My name is Elizabeth Aloni, and I'm with Schneps Media. Schneps Media is the largest local media company in the Metro New York area. We publish over 70 newspapers, magazines, websites, webinars, podcasts, and events throughout Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Manhattan, Westchester, Long Island, and Philadelphia. Today, we're thrilled to bring you the webinar, How to Obtain Medicaid and Home Care Services by Using a Pooled Income Trust. And we're going to learn about how a pooled income trust can assist people whose income is too high to apply for Medicaid. We're also going to be discussing topics regarding Medicaid eligibility and how we can assist anyone in qualifying for Medicaid and being able to obtain long-term home care services. So let me introduce our expert panelists today. Welcome, Leonora Bediner. She is the CEO of Expert Medicaid Consultants. Leonora graduated from Long Island University with a bachelor's degree in music education. She also has a degree in criminal justice. She worked for a Medicaid consulting company and a home care agency before leaving to open up her own company, Expert Medicaid Consultants. Welcome, Leonora.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Wonderful to have you here. Next, I want to introduce you to our other panelist, Carlos Nath. He is a senior trust advisor with KTS Pooled Trust. Carlos graduated Brooklyn College with a bachelor's degree in psychology, and he entered the healthcare field by working at a Medicaid consulting firm for 2 years and then started working with KTS Pooled Trust 4 years ago as an advisor for all new clients that needed assistance in enrolling, setting up their account, or clarifying any Medicaid assistance they may need. So we certainly have our Medicaid and Pooled Income Trust experts here. So I wanted to get started and chat with Leonora and tell us, how do you work with clients in your organization?
So the way that we work with clients is, first of all, we always ask them what is the best language that they would like assistance in. Not everybody speaks English, and if you speak any other language other than English, whether it's Russian, Spanish, Creole, Urdu, Hebrew, any language you speak, we're going to be speaking to you in your native language. We're going to be asking you eligibility questions, making sure that we know your entire situation before we give you any advice and recommendations of how to move forward applying for Medicaid. And we will schedule, whether it's a consultation, however people are comfortable with. It could be over the phone, it could be on Zoom or Skype. They could come into our office, we can come into their home, and we can see, what's the best way to help them. We'll collect the necessary documents, submit it to the Medicaid office, and we'll be that helping hand guiding them through the entire process.
So it's a challenging process, and so it's important to be able to have individuals that can help you through that process.
Absolutely.
So can you share with us how, more about how that interaction would work? So, someone would reach out to you, like, when would someone start? When would you recommend someone start working with you? Is there like a perfect age that someone should start thinking about this?
So I honestly would say that at least by the age of 62, start thinking about Medicaid planning. The reason why is because there is a lot of work that needs to be done depending on, how much property you might have or resources that you have. And the sooner that you start thinking about it and kind of pre-planning, the better. There are elder law attorneys that can help you in establishing an irrevocable trust to shelter your property. If you have, one property or two properties, if you have over resources, some people have a lot of money in the bank, you might want to start planning early to take care of that. And just in general, seeing what your options are going to be once you do get on Medicaid. What are the benefits that you're going to have once you get on Medicaid? So, and that's one of the things that we always talk about in our consultations when we're talking about with clients is, what is the benefit that you're looking for, and are we going to be able to help you get that benefit? So a lot of people that we come across, they tell us we're looking for the greatest benefit of getting on home care services, because home care is very expensive and Medicaid is definitely the insurance to help you get on home care. So when we're speaking to them, we're seeing what their eligibility part is, and how can we help them? So we have a very great portal that we have custom built on our own. It is completely HIPAA compliant, and we're able to, through this portal, interact with our clients. They can send us their documents completely encrypted. No one else can see their documents except for anybody that works in our company specifically. They get assigned a case manager that will be helping them through the entire process, looking through all their documentation, making sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be. Submitting the Medicaid application, talking to the Medicaid office until the Medicaid is approved. And then if they need a pooled income trust, the best company that we work with, KTS Pooled Trust, they're here. They're always ready to assist with guiding the client with the pooled trust and helping them with any pooled trust questions. They have great communication, great customer service. I mean, the best thing that you can honestly look for in a pooled trust, and who is handling all of your bills.
That's great. And I'm looking forward to diving deeper with Carlos into
Yes.
the pooled trust. But so someone, let's say in best case scenario, if someone's 62 years old, they reach out to you and they say, I want to start planning for my future. I want to know what I need to know about Medicaid. And they come to you. And then you speak to them, as you said, in any language that is their native language, which I thought, like, wow, I mean, the language that you shared with, you many different languages, so people can feel comfortable in communication, which is fantastic. And working with you, you walk them through what documents they need and what information they need. Now, what if someone is older than 62? Maybe we have some attendees today that are over 62 and are thinking, I need to get moving on this. Can you help people really at any age?
Honestly, we can. It's just, you asked me what's the perfect age for pre-planning. So pre-planning, I would say 62. But if you're over the age of 62, it's not a problem. Call us. We will do the best we can to assist you. All we have to do is ask you a couple of eligibility questions. We really understand your situation. Everyone has a different situation, and we will be the ones to help guide you through whether you need an irrevocable trust done or you need a pooled trust done, or you need to speak with a financial advisor to see what are your best options when it comes to your annuity. Whatever it is, we're here. We're that helping hand that's here to guide you through the entire process. It doesn't matter if you're 85, 105, 65. We're here to help you all over New York. So it doesn't matter what borough you live in or what county you live in. We can help you, whether you live in Staten Island, if you live in Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Nassau County, Westchester, wherever you are, we can help you all around. The pooled trust option works for all over New York. It's not just considered for the 5 boroughs, which is a great thing as well, because you can get the benefit anywhere. And we especially during the coronavirus, which no one expected to happen, but especially during this time, we've actually expanded our working hours and our days. So Monday through Friday, our office works from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then on Sundays, we actually have 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So basically, you can have help 6 days a week from us alone. And the reason that we made our hours until 9 p.m. is because we understand that sometimes when you're older, you want help from your kids. You want help from, someone you trust to help you out, to listen to the information. And we understand that part. People work, people have to take care of their kids. They have to take care of whatever they need during the day. And that's why we're here, even in the evening hours, to say, hey, we're here. Use us, use our help, and we're here to assist you. If you need materials that you want to read about, for example, what documents you need, we have it in different languages available. We have it in English. We have a checklist in English. We have a checklist in Spanish. We have a checklist in Russian. If you want materials in reading how the pooled trust works, same thing. We have it in English, Russian, Spanish, whatever language that you need. So honestly, we can really help anybody as long as you're willing to put in a little bit of work and hear out what we're trying to tell you. We can help you out. If you speak Chinese or Urdu, Polish, any language you speak, we're here to help you.
I love it. I think I heard a collective sigh of relief. Okay, this is not going to be so overwhelming. I mean, I think that's part of this whole process, whether you're doing it for yourself or you're doing it for a loved one, is kind of the feeling of overwhelm.
Yeah.
And how do I do this? And of course, pre-planning is best, and we'll talk more about that with Carlos too. But at any stage, to know that Leonora, you and your team are there to be able to really walk us through the process and let us know, what other team members that we need on our team,
Right.
be able to make sure that we're accessing all of the benefits we possibly can to live our lives in the best way possible.
Absolutely. And getting all the resources that you need in order to help you out. A lot of people don't understand that if you put in a little bit of work, you really can get Medicaid. And the whole purpose of us even helping you out is because we know, and believe me, we know how much paperwork it is. We see those pages every single day, and we take those pages away from you and only give you the ones that you actually need to be filling out, and the rest we're taking upon ourselves, because the application is a lot of pages that you really don't need to be sitting there trying to figure out, is this a yes or no question? Is this? We're taking that burden off your shoulders, and we're doing all the work for you, so that your only job is giving us the data that we need, and we take care of the rest, which is a huge, huge load off your shoulders.
Yeah. Leonora, what made you start your own company? Obviously you worked in the consultancy field. What made you decide to open up your own firm?
So, when you work under someone, it's great because you're going to have a stable income, and unless you get fired, of course. But the main thing is that there are sometimes ideas that you have in helping out other people, and you kind of see, maybe these ideas can help someone a different way, because no one person is standard. There are people that you can help in exactly the same way, but for the most part, everybody is different. Everybody has different situations. Everybody's different. And I had an idea of, basically creating a more digital process. And I was able to get in contact with my amazing partner that is really good when it comes to building out stuff and making sure that everything is honestly as paperless as possible in the Medicaid system, so that we can help anybody get immediately the help they need, and not for it to take such a tremendous amount of time. And that's the number one thing that, as the CEO, I wanted done. And I didn't see that outtake in anywhere else where I was working. So I wanted to, basically introduce this idea, and it's actually been very beneficial, because a lot of people tell us, it's a great way, you send us the documents in a encrypted link, we can, sign it, send it back to you, and the application can be submitted within the same day, or it can be submitted the next day. And it's honestly a brilliant idea that we came up with. And I've been seeing now that, other people are trying to implement as well. But since, we put in a lot of time and effort into creating this, I don't know if it's going to be as great as ours. I don't want to brag, but that's basically, why I wanted to become the CEO, open up my own Medicaid company, and just really take on my ideas, the ideas that I had in helping people, and seeing if it will work. And so far it has been, and people are very happy. If you look at our Google reviews, people are basically telling us all the time, that it's a fast process. It's not overwhelming. There's always someone to talk to. The communication with us is very easy. They can text us, they can email us, they can call us. And that's the number one thing, that we're always accessible.
I love it. So you were working for consulting, and you realized, there are better ways to do this. And you were able to see what was missing and what was needed, and be able to implement that to help people in a better way.
Exactly.
So really, that's exciting. And we're going to share your contact information. People are asking, we're going to share your contact information for sure.
Thank you.
Obviously, one must look at one's finances around
Right.
Medicaid and home care services. And, let's, before we jump completely into the pooled trust, Carlos, can you talk to me a little bit about what people need to know about Medicaid from a financial standpoint?
So at least when it comes to the income portion, for applying for Medicaid, they have like a criteria everybody needs to meet. So, anybody can technically apply for Medicaid. Like Leonora said, if they're willing to do like a little bit of work and adjust, a few things that they may have to work with, like including their income. They also have like an asset level that they need to meet. In which those cases, obviously other trusts could be set up and other things would need to be done. But at least for the income portion, which is the issue that most people have, Medicaid, at least for this year, it's $904. The limit that a person can receive from Social Security and their pensions, any other income that they receive, it has to be less than that in order for them to qualify. Any amount that they receive that's over that amount, they have to forfeit it to the Medicaid office, either by sending a payment, or if they have like medical bills, they can submit that every month, to cover that amount. Now, most people, like let's say they exceeded by a little bit, they could do that. They could submit their medical bills and they could make a payment. But for anybody making like, over $1,200 or $1,100, they're looking like at a $300 payment, $400 payment to the Medicaid office to have Medicaid every month. Now, the pool trust, what we do is obviously not that many people can afford that. Like that would mean that they would have to pay like over $3,000 a year to have Medicaid. And to avoid doing that and losing all that money, they can put those $300 or whatever the amount is. If they receive $2,000 is their income, they would have to put $1,000 every month, or whatever their Medicaid surplus or spend down amount is considered, which is this amount that's over the 904. They have to put it into the trust, and then they can use that money, but only to pay bills. So instead of them sending a payment to Medicaid and losing that amount to activate their case, they can put it into a trust account and still get to utilize those funds to pay their bills. Now, the limit, I guess, that exists with putting your funds into the trust is that you cannot use them for anything else other than bills. So people, when they're sending us, bills for us to pay, maybe they want to withdraw some of those funds. They can only use it to pay their rent, utility bills, credit card bills, which they were going to be doing either way, if the money was just in their bank account. Instead, they have the trust do it, which is the thing that's a little bit different from what they were doing before, but they get to qualify for Medicaid this way.
So anyone can apply for Medicaid, but you only get the coverage if your income is below a certain amount. Is that correct?
Exactly. Like, so, I mean, if all the other criteria is met, they also have like an asset level limit, property limitations, or things that are under your name. But if everything is in place, and they qualify, the only issue would be their income. And due to their income, they have to, whatever is $904 over, they have to send that payment to the Medicaid office every month.
So using a pooled trust, tell us more about a pooled trust. So I come to you and I'm making more money than $905, $906, and that is in my way of being able to get Medicaid assistance. So I come to you to talk about my options. Tell me what you would give me as advice about what to do.
So, I mean, obviously every case, it's very different. Some people may need to apply for Medicaid and do the pool trust at the same time, which can be done. That would be the best possible scenario, where somebody can work with an agency such as Leonora's, where they can do both the Medicaid application and the trust simultaneously, and then get you, also on receiving home care services while everything is pending. Now, the only other thing is that you have already applied for Medicaid and you receive your approval letter, but it tells you that you have to submit a payment to the Medicaid office of, X amount of dollars every month. Now, if you come to us, obviously we're going to advise you to set up a trust account for those funds, so that instead of you, forfeiting those funds to Medicaid every month and, not being able to use it for anything else, you can put them into a trust account that is able to pay bills for you. So you still get to keep that money available, for your expenses, and also get to qualify and activate your Medicaid. So most people, obviously the thing with the pooled income trust, or like mostly like the issues that people may have, is that they have to like also give us their funds for us to manage that money for them. But the way that the trust is set up, the money that's in the accounts are still technically being managed by our patients or like our clients. They still have access to the money just like a regular bank account. They can see their funds, they can see their transactions, and payments that they're scheduling. So like, I mean, through the trust, you're scheduling your payments yourself. I mean, obviously you're doing it through our company, and we are the ones that physically are either, paying your payments electronically every day, or we're sending out a payment by check, but um but you're the one that's managing those funds. So it's not necessarily like you're just giving them to the trust and you forget about them. It's still your money. It's just in a separate trust account. And the whole thing is that you get the benefit of having Medicaid. Most of the people that are coming to us need Medicaid so that they can get long-term home care services. Most importantly, I guess, I mean, especially right now, nobody wants to not have home care services and then have to go to like an assisted living facility or like a nursing home facility because they can't get help at home, so that they can, stay at their houses, and they get assistance brought over to them, covered by Medicaid. But without Medicaid, you're not able to get that, unfortunately.
So someone who's making more than that required amount can come to KTS and speak with you about setting up a pooled trust where they would put their money and their medical bills would be paid out of that trust
So
from
not
them
not
directly. Just explain that to me a little bit.
Sure. So not only medical bills. So the pooled income trust can pay any type of bills with the exception of like health insurance and life insurance bills. But like any other expenses, as long as you have an invoice, from anywhere, maintenance, somebody that comes and does some work for you, they give you an invoice, you want us to pay it through the trust, you can either send it to us, you can take a picture and email it to us, you can fax them to us, mail us these invoices or bills, and we pay them as soon as we receive them. So, like I said, most payments that are handled by the trust are done electronically. So if you send us like a cable bill or a utility bill, a credit card bill, they're paid the same day. They post within like, 2 to 3 business days. Everything else that may be like a smaller company, might get a check in the mail. But that's again, same thing. As long as it's not something that needs to be paid immediately, we can also like obviously overnight payments if needed. Whatever our client needs in regards to like handling their finances, we would just take care of that for them, and assist them in paying. It's relatively simple, to have a pooled income trust with any other pooled income trust company. But we just pride ourselves in the fact that, it's a simple process. You give us a bill, we pay your bill the same day. We try to get everything done, as fast as we can. And you can always contact our offices, you can request anything to be expedited. There's always somebody that you can speak with here. Um, but yeah, I mean, when it comes to the bills, again, any kind of bills that can be paid through the trust for the client.
So tell me a little bit more about KTS, about the firm in general.
So what, sure. So what we do, I mean, most people that come to us are already, most of the time are already working on trying to get home care services. So that's the reason why they're mostly interested in setting up a trust account. Because like I said before, they're trying to stay home. And what we do, and at least like in KTS, we have like a customer service team for anybody that contacts our offices. They can always reach somebody. There's always somebody on the phone. The other thing that we do that is, I guess, like a little bit different than other companies is that we process payments immediately as soon as they're received. Our offices are located in Brooklyn. So even if we have to like mail out a payment, it's just going to go out the same day from our offices right here. And other than that, I mean, all of the, we have an app that people can access through their phone to see their balance. They can go online so that they can view their account activity. We can mail them statements. We try to make everything like, as easy as possible for clients that are not, obviously, sometimes our clients are elderly, so they may not be as technologically savvy. They may still have to call the office to obtain their balance. They can do that. We can mail out statements to them. And obviously, if we're dealing with their children, and they're able to assist with that, we also offer all of that through our company. But we just try to make it as easy as possible for anybody that's enrolling in the trust, because technically it shouldn't be a difficult process in enrolling in a trust. But obviously, with other companies, you may not be able to reach them, not have like direct communication with somebody that can assist you, like, at any time. And, we're technically like, we're handling their finances. So, they should be able to just reach us directly. And, that's what we pride ourselves in doing, just being there for whenever our clients want to reach us, help them resolve any issues that they have with their payments.
That's really critical. And I think, Leonora made that point too. It's really about knowing that you have someone on your team that's supporting you through what can be complicated, and knowing that you can always reach out to them, and that your experience, you and Leonora have done this many, many times where, we're all in this situation where this may be our first time or our only time that, we're going to be faced with this. So being able to have someone to lean on and be able to trust, no pun intended, is very critical. What would you say is the biggest benefit of a pooled income trust?
So, like I said, we do charge our fee for our services. So, like, let's say somebody has to pay Medicaid $500 per month to activate their case. So, the biggest benefit, I guess, for the trust is like the amount of money that you get to save by doing this. So on one hand, you have the option, you can either not get Medicaid, or you could get Medicaid by paying the Medicaid office, let's say $300 or $500 per month. Now, in that scenario, you're spending like roughly about $6,000 a year just having Medicaid. Most people won't be able to pay $500 per month just to have Medicaid, but I'm saying that's the real option that they have if they want to activate that case. They would have to pay that amount of money. In the long run, it's like thousands of dollars a year. Now, by putting the money in the trust, we charge a monthly fee of 10% of people's deposit. So like somebody's sending us $500, we charge $50 per month. The remaining $450 are used to pay their bills. We can send it to their landlord, we can pay their cable bills, credit card bills, and things like that. And even though it's like something different from what they're used to handling, they're doing this so that they can get Medicaid. Now, so they benefit wise, like, in doing the trust, they get Medicaid in return. It helps them cover like all of their home care services. They don't have any more co-pays when they go to the doctor, pharmacy, transportation, all of that's covered by Medicaid. And also they get to save all that money that they would have been paying to the Medicaid office to pay for bills. Instead of paying $500 per month, they're paying $50 to the trust, and they get to save everything else.
I just want to jump in for a second because I was seeing the Q&As about the benefits of a pool trust. I also just want to throw in that when you're applying for Medicaid, the reason that the pool trust is really essential and needed is because it's the most legal way to shelter any extra income that you get for Medicaid purposes. So by doing the pool trust, you are losing that 10% monthly, but you are gaining most of your money back basically because you're able to pay virtually almost any bills under your name and for your benefits. So it could be your utility bills, rent, credit card bills, anything, as long as it's on your name. So the biggest benefit is that you can still get on Medicaid and without having to dish out a tremendous amount of money to have your Medicaid coverage. It's honestly a legal way to shelter that extra income that you're getting for Medicaid purposes.
Thank you. That's very clear about that. I think that's an important distinction and important point that you bring forth. Thank you for that. We have a lot of questions, and I promise to our attendees we are going to get to all those questions in just a little bit. But before we do, since I have the two of you such experts, I wanted to ask each one of you before we get to the attendee questions, as the insiders that you are, what is an insider tip? Something that you tell your family or friends that they should be sure to know or do. Leonora, what would that be?
So the number one I always tell all my friends and family and customers is, first of all, look at your bank account. Make sure if you're single, it doesn't exceed the asset limit of $15,900. Because if it does, you're not eligible to apply for Medicaid at the moment, and we're going to have to do different maneuvers for it. So make sure your bank accounts are up to date with the ending balance, not exceeding. If your income is more and you're still not 100% sure, do you think a pool trust is good for you or not? Do the necessary research, call us, speak to us, take advantage of the consultations that we have. They're completely free. Go on the KTS website and read about pooled income trusts. Go on our website and read about pooled income trusts, but use your resources and make sure that you are getting all the necessary information before you decide to move forward with applying for Medicaid. Because sometimes people, we tell them about Medicaid, we go over the eligibility, we explain it, and then they forget a certain thing or they didn't understand it, they never voiced it, and that's where sometimes it can become a problem. So try to make sure that if you're speaking with us, you really understand everything. We try to explain and make sure the clients repeat it back to us so we know that we're on the same page. But if there was something that you weren't 100% sure about, call us, text us, whatever you have to do. So the number one advice is do your research, speak with us, keep everything the way it's supposed to be, and you'll get all the benefits you can get.
That's great advice. That's great advice. Carlos?
So I mean, I just want people to understand, I guess, like, if I'm speaking to clients or, family members or something like that, like what the trust actually is. So, and why it works in activating your case. So like legally, the trust is sheltering, it's putting those funds into like an irrevocable trust that is no longer considered part of your income. And that is why you can now qualify for Medicaid. Like a lot of people think that, like, why should I have you pay my bills? I can pay my bills on my own. But the reason why you're using the trust is not so that you can pay your bills, but it's so that you can qualify for Medicaid. The income limit that Medicaid has, if unfortunately, if you don't need it, you can get coverage. And like I said, you have a couple of alternatives. You can pay it to Medicaid every month, and continue paying your bills on your own, but you don't have to lose that money. So, I mean, a lot of people sometimes even go, and I've had plenty of cases of people that reach out to us, they want to set up a trust account so that they can get Medicaid, end up not getting Medicaid, and end up paying privately for like home care services. Now that's just going to deplete all of your finances. And like, in a couple of months, you're going to have to do it either way, if you want to have Medicaid coverage. So I guess my advice to everybody is just like, don't get thrown off by the idea of, I guess, doing something different, like sheltering a portion of your income, to avoid other things that, maybe worse in the long run. Maybe since there's no one there at home to get home care services, then, your health deteriorates like rapidly, or, accidents that may happen at home and there's no one there to take care of that person. So the sooner that you can get on board with Medicaid, I guess, for our clients, the sooner that you can get coverage, the sooner you can begin receiving services. And I mean, obviously everything else after that, at least this is like as best as you can do when it comes to trying to qualify for Medicaid and not having to spend a ridiculous amount of money or something like that.
Great point. So protect your money.
Yeah.
Talk to the experts and use all the legal resources available to you to be able to protect your money and get the services that you so desperately need. And that's really what we're talking about here. Would you say that's true, Leonora, Carlos?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Terrific. So we have some fantastic questions that I want to get to. Let me jump here. Now, this is a question actually Nicole asked this, Elaine, a bunch of people had asked a similar thing. So they want to know if they or their dad or their mom have to have automatic funds or direct payments from the bank. They then would have to change that. Is that correct? so that it would go directly, it wouldn't go directly from the bank, but it would go directly from the trust, correct?
Are you talking about like payments, like they're paying their bills?
Paying their bills. So if they currently have bills that are being, that are going straight from their bank account to being paid, they would need to switch that. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I mean, ideally, like, I mean, like, so there's two things. It depends on how much money they have to put into the trust. Obviously somebody that's putting, let's say $300 would only have like about $270 remaining so that we can use that money to pay bills. If you have anything set up in automatic, and at least that's the advice that I give people when they try to sign up with us, is to try to send us other bills first. Because that would mean like less work for them, like if they have a bill that they're just getting and paying differently, then they can send us that bill instead, as opposed to the ones that are already being paid automatically, so that they don't have to worry about those bills. Obviously, if their surplus amount or the amount that they have to put into the trust is very large, and they need all the bills that they can get, then yes, they would have to stop the automatic bill from coming out of their bank account and then forwarding us, the statement so that we can pay it.
Okay, terrific. Now, would they have to get the bills, another question, Elaine, would they have to get the bills to you? Or can they have the bills get sent directly to, KTS to the trust?
So, I mean, what we try to do, and at least we try to set this up in a way that makes it less work for, I guess, for our patients. So, I mean, a lot of payments that we can set up can be done reoccurring. And, when you reach out to us to set up a trust, we'll go over the bills that you have with you so that we can offer you, at least ideas or like the best way, like, if you give us a list of your bills where like, you can send us 5 bills every month, or you have a lease that you're paying for, let us just pay your rent automatically every month. We'll send a payment to your landlord. And then, everything else you keep on handling the same way. Now, obviously it's whatever works best for every single case. Some people may not have as many bills, so they have to use the bills that they have. And in some scenarios, like let's say it's a credit card bill, like it's the only bill that you have, then you would have to send that to us every month. You can email it, you can fax it to us, you can mail it to us, but there are certain bills, like if you don't have something that we can set up as a recurring payment, that we do automatically for you, then you would have to send it to us every month.
Okay, great. And Nicole wanted to know, in terms of payments that go to, let's say, her dad, who gets automatically paid Social Security and pension, would that have to go directly into the trust?
So no, you still keep on receiving your funds the same way as you did before, pension, Social Security, you're still getting the same things. It's just you're sending us a payment once a month for the amount. You can send us a check, you can send a money order, or when you're completing our application, you can put your banking information, and once a month we withdraw that Medicaid spend down amount from your bank account on a date that you select. You can choose like the 10th, the 15th of the month, and we just take those funds and put them into the trust once a month. But everything stays the same. They're technically sending us a payment. We don't change anything from Social Security or from your pensions or anything like that.
Okay.
And I also just want to add, I'm sorry, that the amount that goes into the pool trust is only the amount that exceeds the Medicaid allowable. So for example, if you're single, the Medicaid allowable is 904. So you would take your income, subtract 904, and that difference, whatever it is, goes into the pooled income trust. So not your entire income, but only the amount that is over the Medicaid allowable.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for that clarification. And I wanted to let everyone know I did put both Leonora and Carlos's contact information in the chat. I'll do it again. You'll also all get emails tomorrow with their contact information. I have a lot of people asking about that. So I just want you to know not to worry. Both it's going to be, I'll continue to put it in the chat today. And tomorrow you will also get an email with all of their contact information. Let me get to another question here. So Sylvia says, what funds go into the pooled trust? The $15K plus monthly income that comes in? So I think that's a little bit, Leonora, kind of what you were just talking about.
Yeah, so it's only the income that's over the Medicaid allowable. And I also want everybody to just see, the emphasis on pooled income. It's only your income that's over the Medicaid allowable that goes into this trust. Your resources, meaning the money that's in the bank, the ending balance, have nothing to do with the pool trust. That's a completely separate issue that we can tackle once you call us, and we'll see what's the best option for you. If it is a problem, if it's not a problem, then just leave it as it is.
Great, great clarification on that. Elaine wants to know what happens to the money in the trust if there's more than there are bills?
So we do have clients that, obviously, like I said before, there's some bills, maybe they have to put $1,000 into the trust, but they may only have like $500 worth of bills for us to pay under their name. So the money you don't really lose it. It's just in the trust account. It does build up. So, month to month, you're making more deposits. The money keeps on growing in the trust account. And we do try to reach out to all of our clients. Like, ideally they're zeroing out their account every month, using every single dollar that they have in their trust account to pay for their expenses. But if they don't, we try to offer them like options as well. Like there's other things, maybe they don't want to get a credit card, but as an alternative to having the money just sitting in the trust and not being able to use it, maybe that could be a thing that they can do. There's also, like I said, there's other kind of services that they could receive, so maybe it's not something that they desperately need, but since you do have the money in the trust just sitting there, as long as you can get an invoice from a company or a statement, so whatever you want to do, you want to get like a contractor to do, change something around your apartment or your house, you want to do some modifications, as long as you send us a bill, we can use that money that's just stagnant sitting in the trust for other things. A big thing that people do, at least like if they have a larger amount, is that they can pay for funeral expenses ahead of time. Because that is a bill that they may have in the future later on, so they can do that while they have the money just sitting in the trust, and not have to worry about that later on. Or depending on the situation, like I said, as long as they can get an invoice, they can send it to us. So it could be that maybe they don't have like utilities and bills like that, but we could try to think about something that they can try to buy a bed, get some new like equipment if they need, like materials or things that they're using.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So Aaron wants to know, is KTS considered a qualified third-party custodian for the client in setting up and managing the pooled trust?
We are not, no. So the pooled income trust, again, it's just an irrevocable trust account that you're setting up. We manage it as, we are the trust, but you guys are still we don't do anything unless the trustees, in this case, like, the client or whoever they're authorizing as being the representatives for the account, they're the ones that make anything from the trust happen. Like they're just going through our company so that legally the money is sheltered in an irrevocable trust account, but we are just doing whatever they request us to do. So we don't make any decisions for our clients. We don't have like any like legal authority over our clients. We don't speak to companies on their behalf. The only thing that we do is our clients have an account with us. Like if you want to think about it, just like a regular bank account, you have a bank account, you have all your funds, in your checking account or savings account, but the bank doesn't really do anything unless, you're the one that's moving the funds, from here and there, like to pay a bill, I guess in the case of the trust, to pay a bill or to cover a fee or whatever you want us to do with that money. But we're just managing the money that's in the account.
Got it. Thank you for that. Joy wanted to know, why do you need KTS to act as an intermediary? And is that because the money isn't shown as all coming to you above that 900 and X dollars?
Correct. So I mean, when you have, they don't have to, obviously, but if they, like I said, in order to qualify for Medicaid, if your income exceeds it, then you can either send the money back to Medicaid and lose that amount of money, or you can put it in a trust. So legally, what the trust is, since it's an irrevocable trust, that means that the money that you're putting in it will you can never withdraw the money from this trust. And the benefit of it, I guess, is that you can use it for bills, but like legally these funds are no longer counted as part of your income.
Got it.
And that is why Medicaid allows you to now qualify for Medicaid, because you can show them, I receive $1,500, but I'm putting $600 into a pooled income trust every month. And they're like, well, okay, so you send them proof of your trust that you're making your deposits every month, and then you qualify for Medicaid.
Along those lines, Eliana wanted to know, is this part of the 5-year look back period? So if you, let's say, set up the pooled income trust and they want to do a look back of your income, but is it really an income or is it assets that they're doing the look back? You know, how does that play into effect, I guess?
So I think the 5-year look back is for assets. I mean, the income is like a monthly reoccurrence, I guess, that they would have to send out a payment to the Medicaid office. But like when you're applying for Medicaid, and again, the 5-year look back, I think it's for like a nursing home Medicaid application. Like this is only for community.
Yes. You
Yeah.
know,
So if I want to answer that question real quick.
great.
When you're applying for nursing home Medicaid, if you were previously in community Medicaid, meaning you had Medicaid, you had home care, and you had a pool trust, the money that gets transferred into the pool trust, that's part of your income. So it's an excuse because you have the pool trust, it's approved by the state, and the money is going in there. The 5-year look back, what it honestly looks into is the transactions that you have in your bank statements. This is why they want 5 years worth of bank statements. And whoever is helping you in applying for Medicaid for the nursing home is going to be looking at what did you spend your money on. So any transaction that's honestly $2,000 or more, they are going to want an explanation of what was that money spent on, and to see was it, a good transfer of money or was it not. But right now we're focusing on community Medicaid, which does not have at the moment a look back period. That might change in the future, but we're not 100% sure of when. But we can honestly tell you guys once we have more information as well.
Terrific. A couple of people asked, and Bob is here asking, what happens when the recipient or the person who has the pooled trust passes away? Do you assign someone
So
that account, or what happens to the money that's left in that account when a person passes away?
So every trust account should have like an authorized representative that can act on behalf of the client. If they are not already doing that. But the money, once it's like, let's say a member passes, there's still a balance remaining in the account. At least with our company, so we offer people 90 days to submit bills over to us to clear out the remaining balance. Now, not all trust companies obviously do this. We just go by like Medicaid regulations. So Medicaid allows us to pay bills that are up to 90 days old. So we use that time frame to, like let's say a member passes this previous month, they're still gonna receive, another statement of like, cable bill and other utility bills for the following month, maybe one last credit card statement. Any expenses that they may have prior to their passing, we would still cover for all of that.
Mhm.
Now, even if after we do that and there's still a balance remaining, like I said, after those 3 months, unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to pay any more bills after that. So that whatever funds, I mean, that's why we try to set up the account and try to advise people to use their money every month, to try to zero out their account so that they don't have this issue when, they have to close it, or like when a member passes. Like I said, there's other alternatives that you can use to try to utilize your funds. So if we see that an account is building up certain amount of funds, we might reach out to them to try to help them use it so that this is not a problem. I mean, obviously, certain special cases, you may lose some funds because they're not able to get a bill, like, for anything else. But, I always try to tell people, if you're going to be losing, a couple of $100 that maybe are remaining in the account, count it towards the benefit of having Medicaid coverage and like, everything that all of that represents. So like all of this is like, we have a monthly fee, but all of it is done so that you can have Medicaid coverage. Medicaid covers, thousands of dollars, like, probably per month if you're receiving home care services.
Yeah, and I think an important distinction again to make is that this is only about income. This
Yes.
is nothing to do with other assets or what's in your bank account. That would be a different type of trust that would be set up. This is completely based on your income and would only be monies in regard to your income. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you for that. So you were saying that you charge 10% to do all of this for individuals. There was a question about, is that 10% charged on a monthly basis? And are there any fees when the person expires or when, if someone no longer needs the pooled trust?
So at least in our trust, I mean, we do have we have an annual fee every year that you're enrolled with the trust of $100. We don't have any other fees besides our monthly fee, and there's a one-time enrollment fee of $250 to set up an account. Now, that one-time enrollment fee, depending on your case, you can always reach out to us and we'll try to work out something that we can do for you. Like maybe we can set up a payment plan. Instead of doing it like that, we could charge like a $25 fee, extended for like 10 months. Whatever the client is able to do to try to cover the fee, we can help them do it. But we don't have any other, like, I guess, hidden fees for, like, I know that other trusts may charge for payments that they're making, or they may charge for, like they said, like a closing of an account or something like that, but we don't have any of those. So, I mean, besides the enrollment fee, which is a one-time payment, and every year there's an annual recertification fee for the trust, we just charge the monthly 10% fee that's taken from your deposit that you make every month.
Terrific. Thank you for that. And that's very clear and very easy to understand. It's not about hidden fees. It's really, that's what it is. And those are all the services that you provide. Kathleen wanted to know, both of you, this is really a question, how do you protect the information that's provided to you by your clients?
So for us, like I mentioned before, we have a HIPAA compliant portal that is completely encrypted. Beyond our office staff, it does not go anywhere. The documents that go to the Medicaid office are documents that you are aware of because you're providing them to us for us to submit to the Medicaid office. So other than that, the documents don't go anywhere else.
Terrific.
Yeah, when it comes to the trust, it's kind of the same thing. They only have access through our encrypted website. They'll be able to see their information. Anything else that's really shared over with us when it comes to like application documents or something like that, we only share them really with the agency that may be assisting you or with Medicaid office directly. And all of that is through like, I guess like the emails are protected, but we just sort of share the information with whoever they want us to send it to. So like if our client requests us to send it to somebody else in particular, we would. Other than that, it's just in our database.
Terrific. Celeste wanted to know, how long does the process take? So from the time, let's say, Carlos, somebody calls you right after this webinar, how long does that process take to get things set up?
So it really depends on if you're doing both the Medicaid application and the trust at the same time, or if you just need a trust and you already are done with the Medicaid process. If you're doing the Medicaid application, if you're doing just the trust, and as long as you complete the application, we do have an application. We have it on our website. You can also reach out to me, like you guys said, after this webinar, and request for us to send you an application. But as long as you complete it, you send it to us with your payment, your account can be set up, that day, the day that you send us the paperwork back. But if you're doing both, and then obviously we have to file your trust to the Medicaid office, which, Leonora, how long does it take to do it, just the trust and the trust with the Medicaid application?
So the Medicaid application takes about 30 to 45 business days to get approved, and the trust can take anywhere from 3.5 to 5 months to be approved by the state. But if you do want home care services, even while the Medicaid is pending with the state approval, you can still start applying for home care.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of home care agencies, like, once they know that you're enrolled in a trust, they know that that case is going to be activated, so they can provide you with services even though everything is pending. But obviously you have to go through like an agency as opposed to like Leonora's, so that they can put you in touch with like the network that's working with them to get services before that application is actually approved.
So there's a lot, we have a lot of questions here. Literally, we could be here for the rest of the afternoon. The two of you have been so generous with your time. I did just share again your names, your email addresses, your phone numbers, and really I encourage everyone to reach out. They're offering a free consultation to talk with you. Everyone's situation is different. And they can kind of dig into your specific situation and be able to give you advice on next steps. And really the best thing in the world, what you both said is as much as you can pre-plan, whether that means jumping in right now or, tomorrow, but pre-planning is really important. And so getting the information that you need certainly takes a big weight off your shoulders and your loved one's shoulders. So please go ahead and do that. I want to thank Leonora, Carlos, thank you so much for all of this incredible information. And I want to thank our attendees for spending some of the afternoon with us. It's been wonderful to have you. Hope you learned a lot. And we'll look forward to seeing you on a future webinar. Thanks so much. Stay safe and stay healthy. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.